said it like the rest is like they might add more time to it.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here. When President Obama gave his now famous speech in Cairo in 2009, he sent a message to the world that entrepreneurship makes communities more prosperous, more secure, and better connected. Today, as we close the 2016 Global Entrepreneurship Summit, it is clear that entrepreneurship is truly one of America's greatest assets and one of our greatest exports. By sharing our expertise with aspiring innovators and creating connections between them that help them succeed, we plant the seeds for a rising middle class in communities around the world. Seeds that can, in turn, form the roots of security, stability, and broad-based prosperity. As Secretary of Commerce and as someone who started 5 companies, I am honored to lead the U.S. effort to support and empower aspiring innovators both at home and around the world. And I am particularly proud of the work that we have done through the President's Ambassadors for Global Entrepreneurship, or our PAGE program. Our ambassadors use their expertise, experience, and knowledge to mentor aspiring innovators on how to turn their big ideas into successful businesses and causes. Each PAGE member also has created their own signature initiative, drawing on their individual strengths and interests. These signature initiatives are designed to inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs, expand the networks and global exposure of existing entrepreneurs, and increase the deal flow between investors and entrepreneurs. So, for example, Julie Hanna's Global Capital Access Initiative has delivered $107 million in loans to almost 300,000 entrepreneurs across 77 countries, from the Silicon Valley to the Great Rift Valley. And Daphne Koller has developed an online course series for entrepreneurs about how to start and grow their businesses. Since that program's inception, Coursera has launched 5 specializations in entrepreneurship and more than 50 courses available free of charge in partnership with top universities such as the University of Maryland and Wharton. I am joined by both Julie and Daphne, as well as 6 of our other PAGE members, all who are innovative risk takers who are using their influence to demonstrate the power of entrepreneurship to grow economies. As you know, President Obama announced this morning the addition of 4 new PAGE members. He also signed an executive order that institutionalizes the PAGE program, as well as our country's participation in the Global Entrepreneurship Summit and the Global Connect initiative. This executive order formalizes this administration's efforts to connect successful American entrepreneurs with budding innovators around the world. I am thrilled that the PAGE program will continue inspiring young people and startups into the next administration and far beyond. As a former entrepreneur, I know firsthand how important it is to have role models and mentors who can help you turn your big idea into a viable business. Our PAGE members are paying their knowledge forward to the next generation of entrepreneurs. They are leaving the ladder down for those who wish to follow their path to success. And they are finding ways to ensure that all entrepreneurs have the resources they need to become an agent of change in their communities. So now I would like to turn it over to Steve Case, Chairman and CEO of Revolution.
Well, thank you, Secretary Pritzker. It's been a great GES. I went to the first one, I think it was 6 years ago. I went last year in Africa and wasn't sure what to expect in Silicon Valley, but it's been a great 3 days. I've met literally probably 200 entrepreneurs, and they really love the opportunity to come here and meet people, find potential investors, find potential partnerships. And the leadership you're showing, kind of pushing the country forward on entrepreneurship, is very important. The signature initiative that I focused on as a member of the PAGE program is what we call the Rise of the Rest. And we're obviously focused this week on trying to lift up countries all around the world, create more entrepreneurial ecosystems. And we're proud of what this country stands for in terms of innovation. We're certainly proud of Silicon Valley and all it does. But we have work to do in our country, too. We have work to do to level the playing field so any entrepreneur anywhere with an idea has a real shot. Last year, 75% of venture capital in this country went to just 3 states. California, New York, and Massachusetts. More than 90% went to men, only less than 10% to women. People of color generally are left out. So while we're proud of the work of this country, we need to continue to lift up other communities. We launched this Rise of the Rest initiative a couple of years ago. We've done 4 bus tours. We actually get on a bus, drive around the country. Been in 19 cities, 4,000 miles, cities like Detroit and Pittsburgh and Nashville and Cincinnati and Madison and Des Moines and all kinds of great cities. What we announced as part of GES is a commitment to do that again this fall. We picked the dates October 3rd through 7th, but this time, instead of us picking the region and us picking the cities, we decided to open it up, really crowdsourcing it, and so we're asking people in cities all around the country to suggest why we should come to their city, what's happening in the entrepreneurial community, and how can we lift it to the next level. So it's been a great week. Thanks again for your leadership. Hopefully we'll all do what we can to level that playing field so there's more regional entrepreneurship and there's more global entrepreneurship, and I think that's possible. With that, I think I'm going to turn it over to my fellow ambassador, who's done a great job with Kiva as a platform that really is helping to level the playing field. Juliana.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Penny. Hi. So just building on what Penny, Secretary Pritzker spoke about with respect to global capital access. So my signature initiative was focusing on democratizing access to capital to reach women and young entrepreneurs because they tend to be the most excluded. And also because when they face broken circumstances, they come up with very innovative solutions to those circumstances. And so the goal was to deliver $100 million in capital and reach 200,000 entrepreneurs. And we exceeded that goal by 50% in terms of reaching almost 300,000 and by 7 million. The other thing that happened was through my work with Page is that we drove an addition 111,000 citizen lenders across 152 countries that crowdsourced those loans. And so it's really kind of a testament to the scale that crowdfunding can reach, and the fact that one of the things that we're most proud of at Kiva, which is helping really to teach the world and demonstrate that women and young entrepreneurs are an incredibly credit-worthy risk, that even though they are living in the riskiest parts of the world, including here at home, they repay their loans at 97 to 98%. They reinvest 90% of their income in their families and communities. And what we're all learning is that the fastest way to transform a society is by investing in women. And it's women like Lidway from Zimbabwe, who grew up hungry without enough money for pens or pencils in school, and who's now a mogul in the making with a juice business and a poultry business, and who is employing young women like herself so that they can avoid the same hardships that she grew up with. And it's women like Shauna and Teresa from Mamacita Cafe in Oakland, which Oakland's become this very hip place to live, and yet what is obscured from view in this kind of a tale of two cities that we have in many parts of the country, and certainly here in the Bay Area, is that there are rising poverty levels for the people that have been longtime residents. Mamacita Cafe is giving jobs to young women, giving a break to women who've had a tough break, and not only giving them jobs and employment and skills, but also giving them kind of dignity-building community where they can get a kind of an emotional and an economic foundation. So these are the kinds of examples of social businesses and women and young entrepreneurs all over the world that are uplifting their economies from a grassroots, sort of what I call the world's bank, a bank that is for the people, by the people, that's democratizing access to capital in a radically decentralized and crucially equitable way. Thank you very much. And with that, I will turn it over to our newest page member, Patrick Collison, who's the founder and CEO of Stripe.
Thank you, Julie, and it's a real honor to be here. Stripe is a platform for internet entrepreneurship. We help hundreds of thousands of businesses, now in more than 100 countries, to start and to scale internet businesses. Stripe helps them, we started out helping businesses accept payments, and so kind of the most basic aspect of the business. How do you receive revenue? How do you sort of accept money from your customers? And so we've been kind of building that over the last 5 or 6 years. And then at the beginning of this year, we launched a new program called Atlas. And so Atlas helps entrepreneurs and developers and sort of those aspiring to create a new business, literally anywhere in the world, to go and to incorporate a company. We help them with the basic mechanics. You heard President Obama speak about this earlier on today. Help them with the basic mechanics of setting up a company, obtaining a US bank account so they have access to sort of first-class financial infrastructure and can sort of reap the dividends of the developed infrastructure that prevails here. Help them with the tax, legal advice, all the sort of the minutiae that come with getting established. And then we help them accept payments through Stripe so they can actually start to receive revenue and to build a business, again, without regard to where it is that they might be from. And so we announced this at the beginning of the year in February, and since then we've really been blown away by the sort of the interest from people in essentially every country in the world. Atlas has received applications from more than 190 countries. We've been sort of scaling access to it as quickly as we can, and so we've now helped more than 400 businesses, 440 companies get started with Atlas from 91 countries, and it's been so incredibly rewarding to come and to meet some of these companies here at the GES Summit over the past couple of days, and of course to meet entrepreneurs who are sort of interested in taking advantage of what it offers over time. And so anyway, I don't want to go on for too long here. I want to underscore again, it's just how amazing it is to be alongside people like, well, I'm not going to go into all of your accomplishments because it would take me too long, but suffice to say I feel very inadequate. And then just more broadly, how how energizing it is, honestly, to be surrounded by these entrepreneurs, by these people who sort of have a very definite idea for what it is they want to accomplish in the world and how we can play a small role in that.
Terrific.
Thank you so much, Secretary Pritzker. So wonderful to see you again.
Thank you.
Shelley Kapoor Collins with Talk Media News, and my question is for the page members. You all have such amazing stories and wonderful initiatives. We would really love to learn a bit more about each of your initiatives and a brief status update, if you could provide one. Thank you.
Maybe what we would do is hear from the people who didn't speak. How's that? Because you've heard. Good.
My name's Helen Green. I'm CEO of Sci-Fi Works, and I also co-founded iRobot, which is the company that makes the Roomba. And because I build robots, and it's really enticing for children, my signature initiative is to get children interested in pursuing STEM, especially engineering, as a career. And towards that end, I go out with robots and I speak about technology. And it's like the catnip that gets kids interested in studying math and science. So it's really, my passion is robots, my passion is technology, and it's bringing that passion to bear on my signature initiative.
With the tsunami of growth that is the Hispanic community in the United States, I decided to focus my signature project on Hispanic entrepreneurs in America. They are the fastest growing segment in the United States, and we're leveraging our global network to bring in entrepreneurs from Latin America and around the world as well. The program is called At the Table, creating awareness in this country of the contributions that Hispanics are making and can be making. We signed an MOU with none other than Stanford University and their SLAY program, because Stanford is the only university in the country that has focused also on Hispanic entrepreneurs, the education, building the network, and building programs and services that'll help them scale.
My initial signature initiative was to bring awareness about the underserved market that I actually came from, whether it be minorities and or women. I started to travel as we went to Kenya and Cuba and things of that nature. I started to learn about some of the challenges internationally that people were having, connectivity, transparency, and I wanted to start then altering my signature initiative to start talking about manufacturing and production and how to, if you make it, how do you get it out of the country? How do you get it into the country? How do you get it financed? How do you go through the process and start to educate people and use my public platform of Shark Tank to get this information out to everyday people and highlight all these amazing individuals. And it's been working great. I've donated a curriculum to the program. I've also given access to our scholarship program for people to have information on how to get free scholarships as well.
I'm Debbie Sterling. I'm the founder and CEO of Goldie Blocks. My company creates toys and media to get young girls interested in engineering. And like Helen, my signature initiative is also around getting girls interested in STEM, because STEM is a great precursor to entrepreneurship. My signature initiative is to create a series of web videos that are educational, aimed at children to get them excited about STEM. I've been spending the last several months with my team producing these videos, and they're launching in the fall. We're partnering with some of the biggest YouTube celebrities who in aggregate have over 10 million subscribers under the age of 16. So we're really excited to get the word out and get these kids spending less time toy unboxing and more time building.
The Goldie Blocks are awesome. You should check them out.
So I'm Daphne Koller. I'm the co-founder and president of Coursera. Secretary Pritzker has already alluded to our signature initiative, which was to create curriculum in entrepreneurship, because we believe that even before you need access to capital, you need to have the knowledge to have a really great idea and the knowledge on how to build a business around that idea. We had committed to launching a single specialization, which is comprised of 5 courses. We ended up launching 50 courses, taught natively in 6 different languages and translated into 9 more. Altogether, cumulatively in those courses, we've had over 1 million learners enrolled and 100,000 distinct completions. There's 174 different countries where there's over 100 entrepreneurs taking each of those courses. And let me just tell you, one of those stories is of Kehinde in Nigeria, who was a low-level engineer in Lagos, but decided that he thought he could aspire to more, but had no idea how to get started. So he took courses in technology, in entrepreneurship, realized that he could do this, left what is a very unusual thing in Lagos, which is a secure job in IBM, took the risk of creating his own business, and now he has a successful company that employs 12 people, 10 full-time and 2 interns. And Kehinde still has a problem because he needs the right human capital in terms of running his company, so he uses the courses on Coursera to also train his employees to make them have the right skills for the jobs that he needs them to perform.
My name is Svetlana Hookah. I'm full-breed scholar here at Stanford University. I'm from Ukraine, and also I'm representing global Ukraine and youth. Thank you for this terrific event. And my question is, under what conditions your initiative might be welcomed in Ukraine? Because me, for example, I'm developing educational project for girls in STEM, namely in aerospace, and I believe that Ukraine might be the perfect hub at international level for such initiative in the region. So are the people from other children, kids from developing countries might be welcomed in my country and be participating in these educational projects, which first of all will be targeting the groups from the refugees families in underdeveloped regions. So what should we do to have you in Ukraine? Thank you.
Well, first of all, you know my passion for Ukraine and for helping the Ukrainian people really work through this evolution that they're going through. And so what we'll do is we'll put our heads together. Certainly Coursera is available today for any kind of entrepreneur in any country around the world. But we're happy to work with you and see if there are other ways that our page members can engage with you and with Ukraine.
Thank you, Secretary Pritzker. Shelley Collins again, Talk Media News. So can you talk a little bit about what the Commerce Department is doing, the administration at large, to help and promote entrepreneurship? And specifically, because my passion is I run a venture fund for women-focused startups, what you see that women need the most in becoming successful entrepreneurs.
Well, the Department of Commerce plays a particularly important role in supporting innovation and entrepreneurship in our government. We lead the digital policy agenda for the administration, which is focused on making sure that we have a free and open internet, making sure that there's broader access to the internet, particularly here in the United States, as well as addressing policy issues raised by new technologies like the Internet of Things or drones or autonomous vehicles, for example. And finally, we focus from a digital agenda standpoint on the issue of trust, issues like privacy, security, encryption. So we play a policy lead role as it relates to the digital economy. As it relates to big data, we've really begun a big data initiative at the Department of Commerce to unleash our information, both from a census. We're both census, we are the Weather Service, we're most of the economic statistics that are put out by the United States. So we're full of information. We produce about 2 Libraries of Congress of data a day, and we want to make more of that available. We issue patents and trademarks, which is absolutely fundamental to innovators. We have a program called Startup Global, where we work with startups to be born global. Obviously, I lead the PAGE program, which is one of my the highlights of my job as Secretary of Commerce. We also serve the coordinating function for the National Network of Manufacturing Innovation. So we're working with entrepreneurs to participate in our new Advanced Manufacturing Institute so that they can benefit from the process of taking new technologies from lab to market. We also run a digital attaché program we're piloting in 6 markets around the globe to really better be able to assist American companies as they're dealing with policy development in some of the largest markets so that they can access those markets and also so that we can more effectively work with those governments as they develop their digital and e-commerce policies. So that's the role that we play.
Let's add one thing quickly, particularly as it relates to women, particularly in this country. One thing the Congress did with the leadership of the president 4 years ago is pass something called the Jobs Act, Jumpstarting Our Business Startups Act, and the crowdfunding provision just went in place about a month ago. There's still some work to be done, but it's going to be particularly important in terms of leveling the playing field so people anywhere, including in your case with women or people of color, have a shot, have a way to break through. The reason that it's so important is, I mentioned earlier, less than 10% of venture capital goes to women. The successful projects on sites like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, it's more like 40%, which suggests if you do create these platforms that do level the playing field, more capital will flow to the people who right now feel left out and are left out.
You've got over here.
Okay, hi, my name is Admir Lukacevic, and I'm from Sweden, and I'm also founder of Sport Without Borders. And I have no questions. I just want to thank you guys for participating in this program. It gives me courage as an entrepreneur. It gives me compassion and power of action to still continue doing my work with thousands of kids. And a lot of my kids following this from Sweden, so they get inspired of this program. So I just want to thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Do you want to take one more?
Hi. I have a question. My name is Zoki. I'm from Macedonia. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be here, but I snuck up. Just want to let you know that you all have been a great inspiration to me. And I have a quick question. How confident are you as investors to invest in third world countries' entrepreneurs? And what will your advice be for us entrepreneurs from countries like this? How can we become partners with investors like you?
70% of global growth over the next 20 years is projected to come from what we currently call emerging markets. And so, I think you should have your head held very high in that it is going to be the majority of global growth. It is the engine of what's going to be created in the future. And so, from our standpoint, while of course we sort of are personally excited to support it, just from a very objective business standpoint, it behooves every single business to be thinking very seriously about what they can do to support developing and emerging markets all around the world.
I'd just briefly add my firm Revolution has mostly invested in the United States, but based on our trip with the Secretary and many of the Page ambassadors to Africa, last year we made a handful of investments, helped start a venture capital fund. A few years ago, the Case Foundation helped start a venture capital fund in the West Bank to try to create more opportunity in that difficult place. We're very interested in what's happening in a place like Cuba, and so while our focus is on rising the rest, this regional entrepreneurship within the country, we are increasingly interested in what's happening globally, and we applaud and celebrate you and all the other folks who came from faraway places to be part of this summit this week.
Also, very scrappy entrepreneurial move to sneak in.
How about last question?
Hello. Sorry. My name is Alan Komlanchenyo. I'm from Africa, from Benin Republic. I live in New York. I'm one of the 200 mentors of Tony Elumelu Entrepreneurship Program. So I have two mentees. I talk to them all the time. My question is, what can we do, like my sister just said, Ukraine, what can we do to welcome you, to develop this program in Africa? And also, what is the relationship you have with our ambassadors, our African ambassadors? Because I'm personally surprised that I don't see any kind of ambassadors here while we're talking about this beautiful program here. So what's the relation you have with them? And also, everything is like English. I'm from Benin Republic, we speak French. French is my mother language, but I speak 7 languages. I will encourage you to do something in French. Like, we have people all over the world. It's not only Africa, it's not only America, it's all over the world. So let us do something in French so that everybody can know what's going on. Thank you.
Why don't I take that question? So first of all, we've had the Global Entrepreneurship Summit has been held in Morocco, and last year was in Kenya. So we have brought ourselves, as well as a number of our Page members, to Africa on a number of occasions, in terms of working with different African countries. And then also we do work with the ambassadors, the African ambassadors, both on entrepreneurship and in general trying to grow greater trade and investment between the United States and Africa. And in fact, we'll have the U.S. African Business Forum September 21st in New York. So that's a big opportunity to further engage with us. So thank you very much, and thank you all for coming today. And let's give a round of applause to our Page members.